So where I'm at in season 4 of My Hero Academia, Deku and Mirio had a plan to make Eri smile once more because of the stronghold Chisaki still had over her. And that plan was to originally take her to the festival and make her smile through their performance. But it was interrupted by General Criminal and his sidekick. Now I don't really know what their motive was, but if I had to take a gander, it just seems like they were seeking attention. But why? I was so curious as to why. What's going on with them, you feel me? And how did this little girl get to support this grown man? How did that situation turn out? Why is it like that, right? Before we even get into that backstory, at the same time, Deku was simultaneously learning a new level to his quirk, bro. He learned that All Might wasn't using 100% all the time. I was thinking he was doing that as well, 100% all the time. But he was going in and out of his percentages. The man All Might literally had a flow state, bro. And that's exactly what he was trying to teach Deku. But when they came down to these two interacting, this made perfect practice for Deku to work on using his own flow state, bro. Speaking of that flow state, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Deku was stronger, but when I saw him got nerfed by this steel bar, this metal pillar, it made me realize maybe he wasn't as strong as I made him out to be in my mind, because he genuinely looked like he was struggling. But then again, maybe that steel bar weighs more than what I'm giving it credit for. But back to that backstory, before we get into it, it was nice to see them going all out on each other because they both had something they were significantly fighting towards. The backstory of La Brava was truly upsetting because she only had a crush on someone, and that someone was making fun of her. And that's really like relatable to a lot of people out there in the world nowadays, because that can really make or break a person. Some of these people not as strong-willed as we are, you feel me? But it's through anime that we find that strong will, and we just a different breed out here. But maybe not so much for La Brava, because she was literally getting into the point of keeping herself safe, if you know what I mean. And she ended up finding General Criminal and just being a very diligent follower to her. So that makes sense why she follows after him the way she does. The question is, why wouldn't she act this way after seeing someone like All Might, right? Why does it have to be General Criminal that it was the shift in her life, you feel me? It was also in the same breath where we saw some of General Criminal's backstory, where he was literally rejected for being a hero, you feel me? And the person he was in the Hero Academy with didn't even recognize who he was. That's another thing that's relatable in today's society. Someone you really been rocking with, or someone who really been rocking with you, and you just act like you don't know that person. That's why it's nice to be nice with all people, bro, because you never know what somebody going through. A smile never hurt nobody. But I understand where General Criminal coming from. He tried his hardest to be a hero, but they just kept rejecting him. He wasn't making it. He was at his wit's end, and he turned to villainy. And what drew the line is when he tried to be a hero on his own after being rejected and interrupted someone else coming to save them. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the hero that was coming to save him, you mean to tell me they didn't see what General Criminal was doing in the midst of that? They had no situational awareness? That was really that own hero's fault, bro. And why didn't General Criminal make another, little plastic thing to save the person? Why he only stayed with that one? It just could have been fixed on both of their parts if we being real right now. But it was ultimately that path that turned him to villainy. But after the fight was all said and done, he got another opportunity to make up for it, bro. And I'm so happy for him because he deserved that happy ending. Sometimes all people need is a second chance, a do-over. Same with Eri. She got her second chance. She got her do-over at life, at being a little girl again, feeling what it means to be a kid, bro. Deku and Mirio got that genuine smile that they wanted, and that was all that mattered for real. And it's on that note where I say stay tuned for the next update.